Hi everyone, Rob here with another Bible review. It's been a couple of 3 weeks since I last posted a review, and I thought I'd share with you this. This is the Apologetics Study Bible by Holman. This is the Christian Standard Bible. Now, this is a Bible that Holman publishers have been producing for quite some years. They had it in the original Christian Standard Bible, and then in the CSB, and now in the Christian Standard Bible again. And that's a wee bit confusing, but yeah, this has gone through a number of revisions over the years, and they've reproduced it. As far as I know, I've had the original Apologetics Study Bible, and I think pretty much the content is not far off the same, although the layout and obviously the text is different. I do apologize today if you can hear a lot of noise outside. I think somebody's doing some work upstairs in the flat above us. I can hear drilling and things, and also it is very wet outside, so you're hearing the cars swish in the puddles on the road just outside our door. So I do apologize for that if that's picking up on the camera. But I just want to look at this Bible today. This is, as I say, the Apologetic Study Bible, Christian Standard Bible by Holman, and this is in the mahogany leather touch. Comes in a two-piece box, quite a nice box. I'll just show you the back of it, so you can, if you want to pause this, you can read who are the contributors. Like I said, there's quite a lot of sort of older guys there. For instance, we've got Chuck Colson. Obviously, he's passed away, gone to glory in the Lord. Same with Norm Geisler. And also Hank Hanegraaff, who has, since this Bible was produced, or this particular edition of the Bible, he has gone over to the Eastern Orthodox Church. But the stuff he says in his articles in here are all fairly good. There's also Rabbi Zacharias there, who has recently passed away. But there's some good stuff in here. Like I say, it is an apologetic study Bible, so the notes in here are going to be sort of geared to defending the faith, answering questions from different religions, understanding how different religions vary and sort of differ from biblical Christianity. And yeah, it's a good Bible for that. I'll just show you the ISBN. There we go. It's printed in Korea, as it says there. It retails at $59.99 in US dollars. I think I got this really cheap again. I never pay full price for my Bibles. I always seem to get deals, and this was in the local Christian bookshop just before it shut down. So I think I paid around it was £20 for this, if that. It was really cheap. Might even been £15. But it's a good Bible, like I say, and a nice Bible. So let's move the box out of the way and look at the Bible itself. It comes in this two-tone mahogany leather touch. Now that, to my eyes there, looking at it beyond the camera, it seems to me that middle panel seems to be brown, but on the camera you can see it's sort of picking up as almost like a purpley colour. But I assure you it is brown. It is a nice size Bible. It's his, like you say, you see on the spine there, it's got CSB, Apologetics Study Bible, Christian Standard Bible, and Holman. It is perimeter stitched, as you can see, and it's got that stitching around that sort of center panel. It does have, comes with one ribbon, brown ribbon, and I think it does have head and tail bands, yes, white and brown, I think. And it does have gilded page edges, which is done fairly well. Quite a nice Bible. The only thing I noticed with this one, it had a wee scuff when I bought it, but it's nothing serious. You can see it on the top there. But that's maybe why it was cheap, but it doesn't affect the reading of the Bible. So let's look at the measurements of it. Turn the ruler around. It is just a tad over 7 inches wide. It is just coming up to about 9 1/4 up to 9.5 inches, maybe a wee bit. There we go, just under 9.5 inches tall. And sort of width wise, it is, let me just measure it there. It is 1 1/4 inches wide. So it's not a massive Bible. It's quite a nice standard size. So let's get into the Bible itself. Let's look at the inside and see what we've got inside. It is just a paste down liner. And it opens pretty much flat from the word go. Although that, you can see there, it's just trying to open a wee bit. But as soon as you get a few pages on this, it's going to open flat. Comes in a number of different editions. Charcoal cloth overboard, hardcover, mahogany leather touch, which is the one I've got, and the mahogany leather touch indexed. I don't think it actually comes in a premium binding by the looks of it. And like I say, it is printed in Korea. It is only the 27 Christian Standard Bible. I know it has been updated, and as the making of this video, I think there's only the verse by verse wide margin edition that is printed in that the new 2020 edition. I think there are some changes in that. You can find out more about that if you go on the Holman Christian Standard Bible website, CSB website. It tells you a list of contributors there on the different books of the Bible, and then additional features. So you can see some of the articles. Let's zoom out a wee bit. Let me have a look. So there we go. So what is apologetics, for instance? Is Mormonism compatible with the Bible? Does the Old Testament teach salvation by works? Is the Old Testament trustworthy? What is the occult? So you can imagine anything that sort of comes against or stands against the Christian faith will be dealt with here. What does the Bible say about euthanasia? Don't Christian missionaries impose their culture on others, and so on and so forth? And you can see the list of contributors there, who quite notable guys. Lee Strobel there. You've got Paul Copan. You've got Norm Geisler, and so on and so forth. And there's quite a lot. You can see there's another couple of pages here. So there's lots of articles, lots of different things that it's going to deal with. So you can have a good look and see whether this would be a Bible that you would use. It's not a Bible, I must admit, that I use all the time, but it's a great reference tool. Working as I do with guys who are very much against the faith. And it's a good one to answer questions and to teach from in that respect. But it's not a Bible I would use constantly. And we have this thing in there called Twisted Scripture, where certain cults and certain religions take very, very popular passages of the Bible and twist them to fit their own views. So there we go. And then we've got notable Christian apologist biographies in here as well. And then we've got charts and maps, which is interesting. And it's very different. It's very different than your normal sort of fare in a normal Bible. So there we go. List of contributors. You can quickly have a look. You want to pause some of them. And zoom over here. Again, just very quickly do this because I don't want this video to go forever. But you can have a quick look of who has added stuff. Like I say, this is an older Bible, so a lot of the stuff has been carried on to this edition. Basically just reprinted it, when the CSB came out, and just changed the format. But we have an introduction then to the Christian Standard Bible itself, abbreviations in the study Bibles, and then articles. What is apologetics? How apologetics has changed my life. Christ, the fulfillment of prophecy. Writing history then and now. So there's quite a number of numbers in the Bible. I'll get my teeth in. The chronology of the kings of Israel and Judah. And then we're into the Old Testament, and you have these sort of pages in between that sort of quite stylized. We have book introductions, all stuff sort of related to the reliability of the books. Being an apologetic study Bible, there are a lot of people that question, the reliability of books like Genesis. So then straight into the text. It is a two-column format, and it is the study notes are at the bottom. You can get a wee taste of what that is. I'll hold that there. You want to pause and read that. It is a... Hang on a sec. Just look on the box, see what size font it is. It doesn't actually say, I don't think. No, there's nowhere on the box that it says what size font. I would say that's about a 9-point font. Fairly clear paper. Is it line matched? I'm just trying to see. It appears to be, but the paper is not a problem. As you can see, it's quite clear paper. And up at the top corner here, we get one of these wee twisted scripture. So where someone's taken the passage and bent it out of shape. So it's talking there about the gap theory, as it were, I think. The gap theory between Genesis 1:1 and 1:2. So you'll find those sort of scattered around the scripture. Again, there's another couple there. Again, you can pause that if you want to read those. So then we get these sort of articles, sort of full-page articles, and sometimes 2 or 3 pages. So this one is Are the Days of Genesis to be Interpreted Literally? And so that's really helpful. And can evolution explain ethics? Have Darwinism and Dawkins disproved God? And going on, another twisted scripture there, dealing with the oneness Pentecostals against biblical Christianity. Biblical genealogies reliable, something there, twisted scripture again about the Mormons. There are not a massive amount of study notes. The meat of this Bible is in these articles, and there are a lot of them. As you can see, that article goes through to the next page, and then you've got the twisted scripture. So you can see at the bottom here, there's not a massive amount of stuff in there regarding sort of biblical commentary, and it will only usually be stuff that is relevant to an apologetic defense of the Bible, usually, or where there's a question of something in the text where somebody will say, well, that can't be possible. So I'll quickly move on and say there's, like I said, it's mostly these articles which are where your meat is. So there we go, Mormonism compatible with the Bible. We'll flick through, like I say, because I don't want this video to go on forever. We're going to the Psalms. I'm going to say, you can see it's a 2-column format, and the paper is pretty good. I say it's a nice size Bible. So there we go. The Psalms are in poetic form. There we go. Some really relevant stuff in here. What does the Bible say about abortion? And there's some quite sort of highfalutin things as well, which sort of you have to think about these things. It's not sort of a surface level Bible. Some of these articles are really, really quite deep, even though they're sort of quite brief in sort of size. They do talk about things that are really, really quite sort of deep. And it is a good Bible. It's not just surface level stuff. There's some really good stuff in here for defending the faith. Through into, I'm going to the New Testament. Does the Bible contain errors there? And then it is a, And there are one or two. You can see here, there's one or two of these wee creases that you get. It's not a biggie for me, but you'll find that occasionally you'll find these wee creases. And that seems to be common in quite a few Bibles. It is a black letter text, and I'm just looking here to see if it is line matched, and it appears to be again, but the paper is good enough quality. There we go. You can see that is line matched there, certainly, and so that helps with the reading. It doesn't, it's that dirty, horrible muddiness. The only problem is when you get there's a lot of these articles here, we can see the stuff on the previous page. So where there's a black page or something underneath, you'll find that makes it a wee bit more muddy. But it is a really readable font, really nicely spaced text, enough line space between the lines, and there is room for notes. You've got some white space here. Look, you've got it's not a massive amount, but you could put references in, or wee sort of footnotes, or a code if you wanted to. And yeah, so there's enough room for that. But there's loads in this Bible. For such a small Bible, in size, it has so much in it. Again, there's all these articles, kind of gospel presented across cultures there, and they're not just sort of every now and again. They're constant. You got them everywhere. So how is the transformation of Jesus' disciples different from other religious transformations? How should a Christian understand the role of government? Chuck Colson, he was a right-hand man to Richard Nixon, so he should know that. Does it mean that God inspired the Bible? And like you say, you can see on here, there's the wee thinker statue. You can see it better there, look, on that page, and that seems to be underneath all these sort of articles. And so I'll just whip into the back and go through Revelation. I'll show you what's in the back of this Bible. There we go. And so the good thing at the back, if you want to do some more reading on this is really helpful as well. Into the back, it's annotated bibliography for apologetics. So it gives you books to read on certain topics. So an introduction to Christian apologetics, it gives you a list of books and articles and things to read. So you've got people like C.S. Lewis in there, Case for the Christian Faith, Natural Theology, Historical Jesus, and Jesus' Resurrection. This is quite comprehensive. Christianity, religious pluralism, other faiths and new religious movements. So it gives you a big list of books there to get your teeth into. And then that ends, and then we've got the Concordance. Oh, well, I've gone out of... Oh, there we go. There we are. So we've got the Concordance, which is quite, again, comprehensive. I think it's a standard concordance. I'll just see what's in the back. Because most of the articles are in the text, which is handy because it's where rather than everything being in the back of the Bible, just trying to get through to this. So rather than everything being in the back of the Bible, it's sort of where you need them, if you know what I mean. Now, this is really helpful. Again, at the back here, it's not your standard fare. You've got a timeline of apologists. Let me just zoom out there and see if we get over it. Main forces influencing Christian apologetics. Main forces in the Middle Ages and the patristic era, early church. Timeline of apologists. And so you've got, zoom in. Focus in, please. There we go. Justin Martyr, Irenaeus, Cyprian, Origen. Those are where they were and what their works were and when they were around. Again, this goes on for a couple of pages, the Reformation, Renaissance, Enlightenment. My camera is really, really struggling today, and I do apologise for this. There we go, 19th century. Get across here. And then we have this. So once that finishes, you've got 20th century. So all the way through the centuries. Selected Old Testament archaeological finds. So like a brief things that prove the reliability of the scriptures. And then that continues there. This is really interesting. Number of original manuscripts and then compared to other or ancient texts. Comparison of world religions, that is really helpful because everything's sort of pot. So in Hinduism, Islam, Judaism, Buddhism, Christianity. And then comparison of religious movements. So Jehovah's Witnesses, Christian Science, Scientology, the Latter-day Saints, Wicca, so the New Age movement. And the Hebrew King's Chronology. And then we have the Holman maps. All this is printed on it's a card. It's quite a thick card, but it's not glossy at all. Doesn't shine. Doesn't catch the light. And then we have one cardstock page, and then there's the paste down liner. So this Bible is really, really helpful. Like you said, it's just chock full of helpful stuff. If you are involved in apologetics, if you are defending the faith, which we all should be doing, this is a really, really helpful tool to do that. Whether you're a church leader or just a Christian in the pew, we should all be engaged in this, and we should all understand what we believe and why we believe it. And then there's as the text says in 1 Peter chapter 3, it says, always be ready to give an answer for those who question you. I'll just find the quote. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 15. There we go. So so everybody who's a Christian should be involved in this. There we go. But in your hearts regard Christ the Lord as holy, ready at any time to give a defense to anyone who asks you for a reason for the hope that is in you. Yet do this with gentleness and respect. And this Bible will certainly help you to be able to give an answer. So I can thoroughly recommend this. I don't know whether it will be coming out in the new 2020 edition of the CSB, but it's a great Bible. I like the CSB translation. My only gripe with the CSB is that they have changed it so quickly, and so I've got quite an expensive Preacher's Bible by Holman, and I'm gutted that they've changed it because the text is different now. But yeah, that's the only gripe I have with the Christian Standard Bible there. I think they've changed it too quickly. But regards to this Bible in particular, the Holman Christian Standard Bible, the Apologetics Study Bible, I can thoroughly recommend it. You can probably pick it up like I did for a lot cheaper than the retail price. But I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope this has been helpful to you. And we will see you soon for another Bible or a book review. Until then, God bless you all. Have a good day. Bye-bye now.